So if he's wrong, God will judge him. But to be all upset, come on. You know, these people are willing. Pope Francis is willing to take the heat from it. He's willing to stand before God and defend what he's doing. That's why he keeps moving forward. Because he's telling you in his discernment, this is what has come to him. Okay? So, now let's get to the proselytizing. This is my favorite.
In which Pope Francis said that proselytism among Christians in itself is a grave sin. Father Brian Harrison, certainly again, no rad trad, has had enough. And in the Remnant over at remnantnewspaper.com, he wrote a letter that says the following, quote, "It would be hard to conceive of a more superficial, more puerile remark on relations with other Christian denominations." Father Harrison says, "How much lower can the papacy sink in terms of both cheap jibes that demean and dishonor the supreme office of Christ's vicar on earth, lambasting an opposing position with a crude straw man caricature that would discredit a junior high schooler, and outright heterodoxy. I myself," says Father Harrison, "am a convert from Presbyterianism. I became a Catholic in order to save my soul. The Catholic faith I have professed now for 42 years is the most precious gift I have received. And now the head of Christ's Catholic Church on earth, no less, is telling me that those Catholics who by personal conversation and written argument help persuade me to abandon my Protestant heresies and embrace the fullness of revealed truth were thereby committing grave sin." And the Pope is justifying this excoriation of convert seeking with a vapid explanation that explains nothing. He says because it contradicts the very dynamic of how to become and how to remain Christian. How many previous successors of St. Peter must be rolling in their graves at such comments? This coming from a Pope is outrageous, mind-boggling, unspeakable, incredible. It's the stuff of nightmare, end quote. So says Father Brian Harrison. Now, even if you agree with Pope Francis on this issue, you've got to admit that the way he's going about it is extremely destructive. And when his words cause such horrified, scandaled reaction, as we just saw from Father Harrison, coming from his own priests, the Pope needs to restate them. He needs to offer a clarification. He needs to offer an apology for scandalizing his priests and bishops and cardinals. Instead, he's silent. He's refusing to answer them. This is a case of the shepherd scandal.
Okay, look. Oh my gosh. All right, listen to me very clearly. Nobody can tell you that you can't witness to Our Lady, the Eucharist, the sacraments, the saints. The Pope's not saying don't tell other Christians about the wonderful things in the Catholic Church that you love. He never said that. He does it all the time, right? He does it all the time. He's always pointing to the Blessed Mother. He's pointing to saints. He's canonizing saints all the time. He hasn't stopped doing that. He hasn't stopped doing that. So what's he saying? What is he saying? He's saying that if you're going to tell them to become Catholic because of this saint or this sacrament, you got to tell them that we got pedophiles who might molest your kid. We got bishops who are covering up for the pedophiles. Okay? You can't be so naive to think that Rome is heaven. Guys, it's not. And I promise you it's not. And I guarantee it's not. And I can tell you that there are millions of victims who it's not heaven for. Okay? Many of them have left the church, committed suicide because of the abuse that took place. Yes, pre-Vatican II. Don't kid yourself. This crap perversion started well before Vatican II. So this holier than thou, the Catholic Church is perfect and the Pope is causing grave scandal. Nonsense, guys. The Pope is a realist. He is very realistic. And it's a shame that he's got to be such a realist as to say, don't go out there telling everybody they got to become Catholic to be saved, because we got so many problems in our church. Yes, we have beautiful things, but we got problems too. And you think the pedophile issue is over? It is not. It is not, man. There's a priest right now getting ready. He's been a priest 30 years to blow Erie diocese out of the water, okay? You can't be that callous to think that the Blessed Mother wants children raped. And if that means that they're safer in an Orthodox church or a Presbyterian church, then that's where the Blessed Mother wants them. I can tell you that right now. Okay? It's better if you take a millstone around your neck and drown yourself than to offend one of these little ones. Until the Catholic Church can cleanse itself of the pedophiles, the perverts who are in positions of authority and access to children, trust me, proselytizing is a sin. Okay? If you have somebody that is really open and receptive and mature, and you're going to give them the full picture, tell them the beautiful things about our doctrines, our morals, as far as teachings, as far as the sacraments, Our Lady, the Eucharist, but you have to also tell them that, you know what, there's a lot of really, really bad people in positions of authority in the church. When you go to a lot of Catholic churches, no one's even going to say hello to you. No one's going to welcome you. Are you kidding me? This is called the Rome Sweet Home heresy, guys. Started by Scott Hahn, maybe some others. Okay, you can't do that. You can't. You know, I went to a Defending the Faith conference. This guy gets up. Yes, we converted to Christianity, and we were missionaries in Russia and China and bringing Bibles, and, you know, and everybody's like, oh, you know. And they said, but then we became Catholic, and everybody's clapping their hands. There's something wrong with that, guys. You can't do that, because when the Catholic goes to the Protestant and says, I was a Catholic all my life, I went to Mass all my life, I did the Stations of the Cross, I received all this, but then I became a Baptist, and they stand up and clap. That's just as wrong. Do you understand? One last piece here.
Scandalizing the sheep. And what are we supposed to do? Observe respectful silence just because he's the shepherd? The shepherd seems to have gone off his rocker right now. So, this is where we stand. And yet in the face of this, incredibly, the vast majority of dumbed-down Catholics, subject to 50 years of conciliarism, of Vatican II, watered-down Catholicism, the vast majority of our co-religionists would tell us to chill out. Cardinal Burke, Cardinal Brammuller, Bishop Schneider, Father Harrison, they all need to relax. They need to take a chill pill. But the question is, for how long do we relax? How long are we faithful Catholics supposed to avoid scandal by allowing the shepherds to scandalize the entire world with their antics and their statements and their efforts to water down theology or ignore it altogether? You think it's bad now? Just wait a year. Wait for the next synod in Rome, when they will give the papal blessing to homosexual unions. That's my prediction. Rob, you got that right down here from the catacombs? I was sitting right there in the Vatican's press hall in Rome last year, and Cardinal Peter Turkson promised the press corps that the next year's synod would tackle gay unions and how gays and lesbians will be integrated into the Church of Accompaniment.
Okay, all right, I'm glad he said that. So Michael Matt's putting everything, his ministry, on the line. Next year, the Vatican is going to bless same-sex unions. Okay, next year, that's his prediction. You heard him say it, okay? It's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, it won't happen. It's not going to happen. Pope Francis has said it's not going to happen. Okay, so, all right, so what's the deal? When you idolize the papacy, in other words, you make the Pope bigger than life, okay? When you look to the Pope before you brush your teeth in the morning, you know, no, that's the problem. It's an idolatry of the papacy. The papacy has become so big, and these people are more concerned about the Pope than they are Jesus and Mary, right? They have a relationship with a church in their mind that's fantasy. It's not real. Their image of the church is not real, okay? And you can quote this saint and that saint or whatever, but the bottom line is you've got to have your relationship with Jesus and Mary. They are able to communicate to you whether the Pope is saying what you want him to say or not, okay? My relationship with Jesus and Mary is not dependent on Pope Francis. I promise you that. And when he tells me I can't have a relationship with Jesus and Mary anymore, then, you know what, I'm going to join you guys. Now, you want to say, no, what should I do? Okay, I'm going to tell you what to do. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, because these prophets are dropping like flies. We got, if Trump gets inaugurated, I got three of them that are no longer going to be credible because they predicted it wouldn't happen, there'd be martial law, whatever. You have guys dropping like flies, and these guys are going to drop like flies too, okay? Now, they're predicting gay marriage to be ordained by the Catholic Church next year. That's what they're predicting. So let them keep going. Let them keep saying what they're saying. They have every right. I support their freedom of speech. I'm more concerned about the people who are like getting distracted. Don't get all excited about this stuff, guys. I'm telling you. Get excited about what's happening in America under Trump. Get excited about Our Lady bringing the Blessed Mother to Protestants. Okay? Because, trust me, she is the new evangelization. She is not held back by what these people are complaining about. It's not preventing the Blessed Mother from doing what she's doing. So if you want to be under her mantle, Revelation 12, if you want to be part of a powerful move of God, get under Our Lady. Listen to me. I wore this to a Protestant church Sunday. Okay? Guess what? Welcome. Here's a free pepperoni roll. How'd you like the service? Where are you from? I never, you know what I'm saying? Like, something's happening very, very special. I wear this to the abortion clinic. Wear Our Lady. Bring her out for people to see. You want to see miracles happen. You want to see conversions, whatever. It's come under the Blessed Mother. Memorize Revelation 12. We are at the time of Revelation 12 right now. Okay? You can do that and be part of a tremendous, exciting, beautiful, loving, lovely, powerful, spiritual battle. The devil hates this woman here. Okay? And we're kicking the devil's butt under the mantle of Mary, which is what Jesus wanted us to do when he came and told it, Fatima, I want her heart next to my heart. I want her heart consoled, right? Feast of the Immaculate Conception, December 8th. And these guys are all worried about somebody receiving communion in South America who's like repentant. And he's saying they're not repentant. No, they're in search. They wouldn't be wanting to receive communion if they didn't realize they were in a horrible situation. And they're going to their pastor and saying, I'm in a horrible situation and I want to receive the Eucharist, but I can't. He won't agree to that. Yeah. All right, okay. Guys, what has happened to you? What has happened to your first love? That Revelation warns that. Your first love, Jesus and Mary. What happened to your first love? Your first love has now become an institution. That you don't like what's happening with the institution. And it's totally got you off focus and off track. No one's saying you can't go to the Latin Mass. Nobody's saying women you can't wear veils to the Latin Mass. Nobody's telling you can't do that. Right? But you want the Pope to follow everything you tell him. And it's not going to happen, guys. It's not realistic. Deal with reality. Anyway, I appreciate it, and I'm not questioning their sincerity at all. I believe they're very, very sincere people. I know many of these people. And I enjoy going to the Latin Mass. But I have tried, and trust me, I was not a fan of Pope Francis politically during the election season, but who knows what kind of gun is at his head? You see what I'm saying? You've got to deal with reality. And if you're not radical on fire, if you're compromised in your own life, if you're not going out to the abortion clinics, if you are not telling Protestants about the Blessed Virgin Mary, if you are not reaching out to Muslims, if you are not You know, in your own life, if you're compromised, guys, if you're afraid of Jesus in public,